AKAPADers. Guys, I love you. TGIF. Welcome back to the channel. We're talking comics today. Peter A. DeLuca here, coming to you from Philadelphia, PA, Europe, and the vast multiverse as your eclectic one. We're very eclectic here. I know I haven't been using that recently. Guys, we experiment a lot on this channel. We have a lot of fun. And because of that, well, we get a little bit closer. With this current election, we got to talk about this Mark Waid business. Mark Waid, the presidential election, he doesn't like the results, and Mark Waid is OUT. He's out. He's never writing a comic book again. Who knows what he's doing. When people act like this, and we have his tweet right here, by the way. When people act like this, do you ever wonder what their house smells like? I just feel like they're not cleaning, they're not washing themselves, they're just not flushing the toilet, they're just becoming almost just like a smelly sloth. That's the personification. That's what I envision when people act this way. Because here's the wild thing, and I'll say it, and I know a lot of my YouTuber contemporaries are not saying it. Mark Waid is easily one of the greatest comic book minds of our time. He could be the greatest. He understands the history, the characters. He has a vested interest to write good, powerful stories, insightful stories, like all of these things we want from a writer. The tragedy is that Mark Waid hasn't become like a permanent, like, editor writer. I always envisioned Mark Waid's career being editor-in-chief of DC Comics while writing the golden age or like a new golden age of DC Comics. Now I know for Boom he's done similar things. And speaking of Boom and some of those independent books, a lot of people are saying, Mark Waid's the villain, Mark Waid's this, Mark Waid's that. Mark Waid, though, Empire and Irredeemable, and those are up right now with the tweet. Empire and Irredeemable are two fantastic books. They are the villain deconstructed. They're the villains that we love, especially in Empire. I love that dude. Empire 2, a little bit of a publishing journey. I believe it was Guerrilla Comics, and then I'm not sure who picked it up after Guerrilla Comics. I haven't read the end for that. I haven't read the end for Irredeemable. Mark Waid's the one that put the Flash on the map for Jeff Johns later to pick up and solidify, and Jeff Johns carves his name into stone when he brings back Barry Allen with Even Vane Skyler. With all of this, it's almost if we're in a struggling comic book industry. We're struggling for good stories, good content, a good monthly read. Just for example, Marvel right now has maybe one regular monthly readable book. One. That's horrid, unacceptable. You would think Mark Waid would be on the front lines of putting his expertise down, driving sales, driving excitement, driving ways to excite readers. But he does this. And it's been a while since a Mark Waid book was a must read. In my view, Mark Waid is an individual that needs to return back to form. He has yet to do that, and we're maybe 5 years deep in him not doing that. Is he hard to follow on Twitter? Yes. Does he suffer from TDS? Yes. Is he not being a comic book genius? Is he not being the best comic book writer? Is he not being a true idol of the industry? These are the things we need from our current creators. Mark Waid is so far away from that at this point. You want to say, pun intended, he lost the plot. Mark Waid needs to write comics. He needs to be involved with comics. Mark Waid should be editing comics on a very high end. Mark Waid has proven he can handle small characters, big moments, small moments, crossovers, independent characters. His independent stuff, you can argue, is greater than Peter David's independent stuff. Chip Zdarsky, like the list goes on. When we go to his generation to this generation, I would compare his independent stuff as good as Mark Millar's. But the wild thing is, though, I don't feel like Mark Millar's DC like Marvel Comics and DC Comics Big Two stuff compares to Mark Waid's. And to me, Mark Waid contributing to the Big Two is far more important than independent books, because some creators thrive in that and they make those books readable, and comic shops need addicting readable books from the Big Two every single month. That's how they stay alive. It really has nothing to do with these pre-orders. It's how good the books are when you walk into the shop to sell them. A little bit of my 2 cents with this Mark Waid business. I think it's crazy. He just needs to write comics and work on comics, and I get it. We all love things, we all hate things, we're all emotional. But just for example, if I let with my 9-to-5 job, if I let an Eagles loss affect me every single week, or the Phils losing, or this and that, or the Sixers that only won 1 game so far, how would I go into work? Like, how would I function as a adult? We have to separate these things. The age of this type of performance art is over. Let's just focus on the absolute best books possible. And Mark Waid is not setting that example, and he had a moment to set that example.